what confusion and what confounding God has poured upon the nations of this world, that they are so blind, okay, to the cycles of death and death, okay, that they say, is it possible that God is alive? Okay, verse 17. And all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through you, saith the Lord. It means the eye of the Lord is watching, and the eye of the Lord is sustaining his judgments. And all the Lord is looking for is with a glimmer of faith in the heart of the people. But just a little faith. This is what Jesus was saying. If you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea. Okay, if by saying to this mountain, whether this a mustard seed of faith can remove great circumstances, this is what God delights in. I take pleasure, saith the Lord, in the faith of the righteous, and I will move circumstances even in their favor, and I will give them peace in the midst of trouble, and I will solace their minds with my grace. I will speak words of comfort to my righteous ones. But to the wicked, my judgments will continue to go forth, and I will smite them with the rod of my wrath until they turn from their wicked ways. Verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? For the day of the Lord, they're looking for good, okay, by promise, and not good by covenant. But the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. We can see that the trough of darkness during the 5th week, okay, crested during the time of crested, now went up and crowned with the time of John the Baptist and the announcing of the Messiah, okay, of the first 8th week. That was the crown. Okay, that out of darkness they saw great light. Okay, that was the ending of the 5th week. Look at the ending of the 6th week. At the ending of the 6th week, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Okay, that they in that time of darkness were thinking that their darkness was light, but their darkness was not light. Their darkness was their ignorance. Okay, and they called good evil and evil good. Now look what he says here in verse 18. During the time of darkness, it's like in the time of darkness, it's like running in the woods at midnight with your eyes shut. Now you run in the woods with your eyes shut, you're going to definitely get yourself hurt. See, and so the wicked during the times of great darkness, using their darkness for their safety. Okay, what you think is safe, okay, there's going to be tragedy. We see this today, that the wicked are taking confidence with the counsel, okay, of their peers. They're taking confidence in the counsel of peers, and they're putting on the yoke of promise, okay, by those which are in authority. Okay, but this is what's happening. When you take on the yoke of the promise of the sinners, you are actually putting yourself into a cage of a hungry lion. And this is what he says: as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear bit him, or went into the house and he leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. The places of your security becomes the places of your tragedy. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very, very dark and no brightness in it? Okay, so here Amos is crying out to these people, that what you think is light is darkness. And this is exactly what Jesus said. If that light in you be darkness, then how great is that darkness? And this he was speaking to the Pharisees. Okay, and regarding that the light of the Torah, okay, the light of the Torah, the precept of the line, okay, you use that with your aspiration and tradition. This is your darkness. And you're confused. Why is it that the rod of God's wrath is on you constantly? Okay, when you continue to embrace the Torah, okay, as if a drowning man is embracing a life preserver, and yet you don't call upon the Lord who shall save you. Okay, I, the Lord, will save you, not the Torah. I, the Lord, will save you. Those of faith, okay, are those of my kingdom. Okay, now look at here, verse 21. Look what the Spirit says. I despise your feast days. Okay, but yet the people were thinking, shouldn't we rejoice in the Lord? Shouldn't we sing louder? Shouldn't we clap harder? Shouldn't we dance with all of our might before the Lord like David danced before the ark? This is the mindset of the people back in ancient times, in the times of Amos the prophet, and this is the same mindset today of those in the house of Bel. They think if they sing longer, clap louder, dance harder, okay, give more money, okay, that God will hear them. But what does the Lord say here? I hate. That's the same language that it says in the book of Revelation. Okay, it's concerning the doctrines of Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. And you see that in Revelation chapter 2. Which thing I hate. Look at the language God uses on that. But God is a God of love. But the word hate right here has to do as concerning I stand against its manifestation. I do not desire the fellowship of false knowledge. I hate, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell your solemn assemblies. Okay, though you offer me burnt offerings and meat offerings. Look at this. This shows how strong that the religious guided mind, okay, was following. They were very strong in their traditions. They went to church every day, okay, and offered sacrifices. They're very zealous concerning knowing the true God, but you cannot know God outside the covenant. And covenant demands government, truth, and spirit. Prayer, preaching, prophecy, gifts and callings, the grace of God are found in His temple. Not in the temple of Baal, in the temple of the Lord. Though you offer me burnt offerings and meat offerings, I will not accept them. What does God accept? He accepts faith. Oh, look what else He says right here. Neither will I regard your peace offerings. The peace offerings are your fat beasts. Okay, so you are willing to suffer loss to gain. But I didn't ask you to suffer this loss. I asked you for faith. Bring before Him not questions of resolving your issues, but rather bring to Him a humble heart and saying, Lord, I want to come in covenant with you. Teach me your ways, give me your covenant, and I will honor your Christ.